Hi, my name is Marianne from Shamanessence, and I am going to give a brief introduction to my personal way that I've developed chakra balancing and cleansing. Although my background was mostly dance, body work and healing, vibrational medicine, I found that what's very popular, especially since I moved to South Africa, was the chakra cleanse process. Now, over the past 20 years, it keeps evolving and changing as we are shifting through these great changes in life. Everything seems to be shifting. And often people would ask me, can we do a group or can I do with my friend? And I always said, no, these are individual sessions and we can only do them one-to-one. But I actually have another system now, because I always had the Shamanessence chakra oils, and I didn't really put them into a workshop because I was moving away from what other people were offering with visualizations and chakra work. And there's so many great people out there who do very good work. But now I am ready to actually do groups as well. And I'm just going to briefly break down what I do with individual sessions and what I do with groups. So let me start with groups first. To do a chakra and energy balancing cleansing workshop, I can do shorter ones and longer ones depending how long we want to spend on the chakras. So what I will be offering is a combination of movement, meditation, and visualizations together with the vibrational frequencies of the essential oils and the flower essences in oil bases that I have for eight of the chakras. So that will be in a workshop context. That could be, I would say it's probably a minimum of an hour and a half. And that will be on offer soon. Because I've had so many requests, but I wasn't sure to offer it because of the way I work individually can't be done in groups. So the individual sessions are very different because they're individual and they're very personal and very private to the person. And it's not something they probably want to do in front of other people. So in a personal session, when a person comes to me, first of all, I ask them, why they're coming or what is it they're specifically concerned about. And I find that a lot of it these days, in the last few years, is basically overwhelmed. People are very overwhelmed. It's totally very common right now, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it is very scary. Things that seem to work don't work anymore. Things seem to be falling apart and so forth. That's not necessarily what a person comes for, but it's very, very common. So what I just want to set the intent with the person. What is it they want? What is it going on in their life? And they don't have to say much. A person can say actually absolutely nothing. It's just a way of connecting and also keeping notes of the person's intent and what's concerning them. And then I use applied kinesiology, and I will check in with their energy. I will give them flower essences to balance and stabilize them for the journey to get to me and for the work we're about to do. And I will actually check each chakra and I measure them on an energy level of 1 to 100. Very simple. I'm not necessarily interpreting, this chakra is this and this is going on in your life. I'll only point things out later on in the session if it's necessary. I'll just measure the chakras and give them, ask them, do you know about the chakras? And maybe give a little brief of what each chakra represents and how they work together. And I don't just do the 7 chakras, I go for the 8th. And I know we have 9, 10, 11, 12 that people are more conscious about now. And for all we know, it goes up much higher. Basically, we do need to be grounded and earthed before ascending. Otherwise, there's no roots. Everything just falls apart. So I find that the first 3 chakras are very important to try to strengthen. And there's only so much one can do in one session. You don't go there to get fixed. I just help guide you. I give you a lot of guidance at the end of the session. Now they're quite intense because I find that I want to break them up into 2-3 sessions because people need to commit to the whole thing. So I ask people to maybe set half a day aside and that they don't have to do anything afterwards. They can just relax and expect to process for at least 48 hours, which I do the same with body work as well, unless a person's received a lot and they're used to it. So after I've read the chakras and I give a little explanation, we see where it's strong, where it's weak, and get a feeling for what's going on, and then it usually makes sense to the person. We also check for entities and cords, what we call parasites or just foreign thought forms that don't necessarily are not healthy for one anymore. And I first start with an energy cleanse process. But before we even do that, I'll teach the person how to ground and how to protect themselves, and there'll be a little bit of a visualization and energy cleanse process, and then we do another process to release any battle energies. I will check the chakras again and see if there's any improvement, and that's where I used to stop many years ago when the session was only an hour, and then I decided that I'm going to use the body code system to identify in the subconscious mind what's blocking the chakras, if anything at all. Why is this chakra still weak? And I found now, just maybe in the last 5 years, that just because the chakra is weak doesn't mean it's the chakra we're going to work on, the energy center. So I will actually ask the person's higher self, which energy centers are we going to use as a gateway for the whole body energy system? And I will ask why that energy system, that chakra, is not happy, starting with basic questions, and help release subconscious trapped emotions, be it addictions in the mind or subconscious ways of thinking that don't serve you anymore. And we just sort of do this onion layer by layer undoing, so that the energy can flow better. And that is quite intense and quite personal. And the more a person is kind of intuitive and in touch with their feelings, the easier it is to do. And the more the person is very cerebral, it can be a little bit more difficult for me to help that person get out of their head and get into their feeling. But we do everything we can to go through all of that until the chakras are functioning better. And usually in the next 48 hours, they even improve a bit more. And to conclude the session, I give people a personal, custom-made, kind of like a rescue remedy, whatever they need to balance and stabilize the work, or sometimes it's actually for specific issues that are hanging down and need to be brought back to life, or things to release, or ways of thinking that needs to be open to changing. Nothing is imposed. It's all basically a frequency medicine. It just gives the person the chance to bring the negative back into the positive. So I have some other videos here on the Shamanessence page and YouTube that talks a little bit about that more in-depth, flower essences and muscle testing and all that kind of thing. So that's basically it. That's the very popular, it wasn't my choice for this to be popular. I prefer giving body work. I prefer the Feldenkrais method and teaching, but it seems to be that the energy has brought me this way. Now, I also can work long distance over WhatsApp or Zoom, but it is a bit different because I can't administer flower essences, and so I have to offer other things for people to help themselves with their journey, be that nutritional or suggestions that are appropriate for them. Okay, so that's a general idea of what I offer with the chakra cleansing and balancing sessions for groups and for individuals.